A fairy tale as told by Rudolf Steiner, with music by Yelena Kuzmenko. The Flower Queen's Daughter. There was, once upon a time, a king's son. He rode forth and came to a deep ditch. There he heard moaning. As he followed the path of the ditch to discover the cause of the moaning, he found an old woman. He left his horse, descended into the ditch, and helped the old woman out. He then saw that she could not walk, for she had injured her leg. So he asked her how this had come about. She told him, "I am an old woman, and I must rise early, soon after midnight, to go to the town to sell eggs. On the way, I fell into this ditch. You cannot now reach your own dwelling. I will set you on my horse and take you there." Although of noble birth, thou art a kind and good man, and because thou hast helped me, thou shalt receive a reward from me. Now he guessed that she was something more than an old woman. "Because of the kindness thou hast shown me, thou shalt receive the reward that thy good soul deserves. Dost thou desire to marry the daughter of the Flower Queen?" "Yes," said he. "Then to do so, thou hast need of what I can easily give thee." And she gave him a little bell, saying, "When this is rung once, the King of the Eagles will come with his hosts to help thee, whatever the position in which thou mayst be. When thou ringest twice, the King of the Foxes with his pack will come to help thee wherever thou art. And if thou ringest thrice, the King of the Fishes will come with his hosts and will help thee wherever thou art." The king's son took the little bell and rode forth to seek the daughter of the Flower Queen. He rode a long, long time, but no one could tell him where the daughter of the Flower Queen dwelt. His horse became worn out and broken down, and so he had to continue to wander on foot. he met an old man and asked him where the dwelling of the Flower Queen's daughter was. "I cannot tell thee. Go on further, and even further, and thou wilt find my father, and he will perhaps tell thee." So the king's son went on further and still further, until he found a very ancient, primeval man, of whom he asked where the Flower Queen dwelt with her daughter. "The Flower Queen dwells afar, in a mountain that thou canst see in the distance. She is, however, watched over by a savage dragon. Thou canst not reach her, for the dragon never sleeps in these days. There is only a certain time in which he sleeps, and this is his waking time. But thou must go still further to another mountain. There lives the dragon's mother. Through her thou wilt reach thy goal." Courageously he went on. He reached the first mountain. Then the second mountain. There he found the dragon's mother, the archetype of all ugliness. But he knew it depended on her whether he would find the daughter of the Flower Queen or not. He then saw near the first 7 other dragons who all desired to watch over the Flower Queen and her daughter, who had long been held prisoners and could only be set free by a king's son. "Oh, I know that I must be thy bondsman if I am to find the Flower Queen." "Yes, thou must be my bondsman, and thou must do me a service that is not easy. Here is a horse. Thou must lead him out to pasture the first day, the second, and the third day. If thou bringest him home safe, then on the third day, perhaps, thou mayst attain thy desire. But if thou dost not bring him safe home, the dragon will eat thee. We shall all eat thee." The next morning, he was given the horse. He tried to lead it to the pasture, but soon the horse escaped from him. He sought it, but could not find it, and was very sad. Then he remembered the little bell which the old woman had given him, drew it forth, and rang it once. Then many eagles gathered, led by the eagle king. They sought for the horse. The eagles found the horse, and the king's son led it back to the mother dragon. Because thou hast brought it back, I will give thee a mantle of copper. Now thou canst take part in the ball tonight, in the circles of the Flower Queen and her daughter. On the second day, the horse was given to him. He tried to lead it to the meadow, but soon it escaped again, and nowhere could he find it. So he drew forth the little bell again and rang it twice. In an instant, the king of the foxes appeared with a large following. Led by the fox king, they sought for the horse. The foxes found the horse, and he was able to restore it to the dragon's mother. Today thou shalt receive a silver mantle. Now thou canst again take part in the ball tonight, in the circles of the Flower Queen and her daughter. At the ball, the Flower Queen's daughter said to him, "Demand on the third day a foal of that horse. With it thou canst rescue us, and we shall be united." On the third day, the horse was again handed over to him, so that he could take it to the pastures. At once it escaped again, for it was very wild. He drew forth his little bell and rang it 3 times. The Fish King appeared with his following. They sought for the horse. The fishes returned with the horse, and he brought it back a 3rd time. He had fulfilled his task. The Dragon Mother gave him as a recompense a mantle of gold as his 3rd covering. With it, he could take part in the 3rd ball at the Flower Queen's dwelling. He was also given, as a fitting reward, the foal of the horse he had cared for. With it, he could lead the Flower Queen and her daughter to their own fortress. And round this fortress, which all others wished to steal from her, they allowed a thick hedge of bushes to grow, so that the fortress could not be taken. Then the Flower Queen said to the king's son, "Thou hast won my daughter. Thou shalt have her by and by, but only on one condition. Thou shalt only have her for half the year. The other half she must withdraw from the surface of the earth, so that she may be with me. Only thus mayst thou be united with her." So the king's son won the daughter of the Flower Queen and lived with her always for half the year, while the other half she was with her mother.